The Skoda Fabia has been one of the most successful Rally 2 cars in history, but now there's an all-new model, and I'm joined now by Alex Lada, who's from Skoda Motorsport, and
Hello.
You can show us through this all-new car. It's a new generation Fabia RS Evo, and well, what's changed with this car? First of all, for those who don't know, this car starts as a normal production car.
Yes,
shell.
this is let's say the model of the rally car, which is based on a serial car, and it is the Fabia of the 4th generation, which was launched 2019 in the middle of the year. And actually the body shell is very similar to the standard car. However, there are a few modifications which are requested either by regulation or because of the reason of the usage of that car. First of all, the car is a bit wider, so all of these wings are from the plastic, and we are making the car wider up to 1820 millimeters, which is the maximum width of the car allowed by the regulation. But the rest, like this or this is all serial material. Normal steel, as well the roof, everything is like in the standard production. But when we look into the interior, we can see that the complete cockpit is equipped with many parts which function is to increase the safety of the crew inside the car. You can see that the car is just for the 2 passengers, driver and the co-driver. Here around complete interior is a massive roll cage, which is the most important part to protect the crew in case of some accident.
This is the biggest reinforcement you do.
This is the biggest reinforcement, and really it's massively increasing as well the torsional stiffness of the complete body shell. If we are talking about safety, you can see that on the doors is some part of this plastic foam. It is as well on the roll cage here.
Yes, yeah.
And I tell you that this material is as well inside the doors.
Okay, so in behind here you have
behind it, yeah. And the purpose of this is to absorb the energy in case of the hit to the side, from the side. Yeah. So then it was the safety. You can see as well inside the seats, which are specially developed for rally use. This seat has to be certificated by FIA, and only the seat with the certification is allowed to put into the car. Yes. And with the seat is corresponding as well the special type of the safety belts. You can see that the safety belts are completely different compared to the situation in the standard car, because there are so-called 6-point safety belts, because there are 2 points over the shoulders, 2 points over the mid part of the car, of the body, and two belts, 2 points from the floor. The target of these belts is to firmly fix the body to the shell of the seat.
So the whole dash for the driver's office, shall we say, where he does all his work, is very, very different. The wheel comes out much closer to the driver, obviously.
Yeah.
But maybe you can talk about what's changed. So this is a totally different steering rack that you use over a standard car. Is it electronic?
No, yeah, for sure. This steering system is dedicated and developed just for the rally car, compared to the serial car, where is the massive usage of electrical hydraulic or purely electric steering systems. We are still using the mechanical hydraulic system. And anyway, but despite of that, the steering column still needs to have some so-called crash element that in case of the hit, this rod is collapsing and not to making the attack to the body. Pedal box is let's say from the aluminum. This footrest are making from glass fiber or carbon fiber. Anyway, the category is a bit tricky from the point of view that all the parts has to be under some budget or cost limit. Okay. This is why as well some expensive carbon fiber materials are limited or restricted. In some parts there is allowed just the top surface of the some glass fiber be covered because of the visibility of some top layer of this carbon fiber. Behind the seats, first you can see some details from the roll cage, like this cross and these tubes. Then in this area where the serial car has a rear seat, is the fuel tank. Under this sheet of the metal under the car is a fuel tank. Volume of this is 80 liters. And the refueling is done by these two quick couplings, which is as well different. All the serial cars are refueled from outside, while the rally car is refueled inside, just because of the safety that regulation wanted to avoid whichever contact of the fuel system with the outer part of the car. In case of the hit, it creates the bigger safety. Yeah.
I also noticed behind the co-driver you've got the lithium battery. So this, I guess you use lithium battery because it's lighter?
Yes, the battery, you are correct. Battery is behind the co-driver seat. The rules for the battery saying that it's minimum weight like 8 kilo. And what is the target to put the battery, as it is quite heavy piece of the car, in the place where it's suitable from performance, like low, close to the centrum of the gravity, but well protected from the hit from the bottom. This is why we put the battery behind the seat in that position.
When somebody comes to Skoda Motorsport and they want to get one of these, you do a full package, so everything you can get support. The system is actually like that. If some customer is interested to buy such a car, he normally is placing the order to our customer department. He will receive some information when the car can be available, and he's placed some piece of the cost to the account, and we start to assemble the car. When the car is ready, the customer is invited to our base in Mladá Boleslav, and we have special place where we are doing this sales procedure, and this sales procedure means that the customer is checking the car. We explain how the car is working. It's possible to install all the softwares which are necessary, and the customer will receive the user manual and all the documents like the catalog, etc. To be able later on, for example, order the spare parts or understand how to use the car, what are the servicing intervals, etc. And it's
really,
just like buying a regular car, only
more or
a
less,
little bit more special.
more or less, yeah, more or less. And on top of this, it's fair to mention that from regulation of FIA, we are obliged to sell the basic car in a given cost. The cost is nowadays roughly 260,000 euro, and for such a price, the customer will receive the tarmac specification of the car, so-called ready to race. That means with such a car in the basic specification, he is able to start the rally. The car is fulfilling all the regulation from safety, technical, sports, etc. And this is our basic. On top of that, if the customer has interest, he can order a bit more. For example, basic specification car is on the tarmac, but the customer can buy the parts which they need to upgrade the car for the gravel specification, which for example is the different type of the dampers, special protections, different brakes, etc. Some customers has, for example, special request to buy different type of the steering wheel or the seats or the belts, and all of these wishes we are trying to somehow consider during the ordering process and assembling of the car.
So this is a turnkey operation. You can just ring up, order this and get it. But how long is somebody going to have to wait to get one of these cars? How many can you build per year?
Per year we are able to build something like 60-70 cars. And then so far the interest is so high that really waiting time to receive the car, it's quite long. it's the situation on the market. There are some, let's say, troubles with the material. So our suppliers has sometimes the problem to deliver the parts in the proper time. That's the current situation, which we can hardly change quickly. But we are working on that step by step. Try to get delivery
even
time.
Rally cars
Even
have shortages and have problems.
It's not only the chip or electronics. This is as well aluminium, stainless steel, etc. Then.
So we've seen a lot of structurally what you change, but really the big difference for a lot of people is going to be what's underneath the bonnet. The engine is not your regular Skoda Fabia engine, so maybe for the viewers at home, you can explain a little bit exactly what we have here.
The engine bay, you are correct. Engine bay is totally different because first, the engine is not the serial one from the Fabia. It's a racing engine which was developed from 2-liter engine, so-called AI 888, and we, because of the regulation, had to modify the volume for 1.6.
Yes, yeah. So and it's sleeved down to 1.6 from a 2-liter engine.
From a 2-liter engine, we changed slightly the bore and we changed the crankshaft to get volume 1.6. And but anyway, it's still a petrol engine with turbocharged system, direct injection, and then as I mentioned yesterday, there is somehow like 214 kilowatts of the power and 430 Newton meters of the torque. Compared to the previous generation of the car, the characteristic of the engine is more suitable for the drivers. It's a bit wider. That means that the driver can be longer in certain gear. And talking about the gears, we can look that next to the engine is a special racing gearbox from England company X-Track. This is a gearbox which has 5-speed. It's so-called sequential gearbox. That means the driver is shifting by pulling the shift lever. Backwards means shifting up, and front means shifting down. And this system of the gearbox is without any electronics. This is the mechanical differential, standard clutch like used to be in the old cars, and the shifting is manual. No hydraulics, no electronics for the shift system. As well, the cooling package is significantly updated. There is no air conditioning system in this car. There is a big water cooler in the front with the fan, and under the water cooler is there cooler for the air, so-called intercooler.
Yes, yeah. And obviously, as well as being performance-based, this has to be really easy to work on for the guys if they need to quickly do some maintenance work as well.
Yeah. This is as well one of the aspects during the development, that if we are designing something, we are paying the attention to the fact that this car has to be serviced and repaired in very short time during the event, and that means that all the parts in the engine bay or as well on suspension or interior should be accessible very easy, and as well the changes of the parts should be, let's say, smooth. For example, for skilled mechanics to change the gearbox, this is the question up to 15 minutes on the rally car. And if we are talking about the engine bay, you can see that as well the body shell here is modified because we have this big reinforcement between the fixing of the suspension point and the chassis rail. Is there as well here some piece of the roll cage which is reinforcing the body shell. But for example, the lights, this is the standard one.
It really is such an impressive bit of kit when you see it. It's a real great success story for Skoda with what this car has done, and hopefully what this new car
for sure we are on the beginning, so then we believe that we can continue in the, let's say, same direction and with the similar story like we did with the predecessor of this car. Yeah.
I guess the next thing to do is for me to actually go and see what it's like. So let's go for a ride. I'll try not to hit the horn too much. Or the washers.
I think they disconnected them, to be honest.
They knew we'd be in the car. So, a good bit of practice for you before the season starts?
Yeah. I mean, it's actually quite good practice since obviously it's more or less a year ago since I was on ice. So
yeah.
And a lot of fun. Just some water here. It's crazy how much.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's have some fun.
You ready to go?
Yeah.
There we go.
Those tires make so much difference.
Oh yeah. It's like 400 studs in each tire and 7mm protrusion on the studs, so they grip quite nicely on the ice.
They make it nice and predictable for you?
Yeah, exactly. I think predictability is like one of the key things in rallying in general, because if you don't have the confidence and if you don't know how the car will behave, you won't be going fast.
Yeah.
So it's quite funny. I can be fairly straight on the steering for most of the time.
And the suspension setup as well makes a big difference.
Yeah. Although, let's say, you won't find the biggest differences on ice because obviously it's flat.
Yeah.
But when we go to some rough gravel or, you know, somewhere where you where it's crazy bumpy,
yeah,
you can just go flat or anything. That's crazy with these cars. Yep.
How fucking cool is that?
I totally agree. I totally agree. Yeah, it's quite nice to call this, you know,
this is a fun day for you, yeah?
Yeah.
You kind of pinch yourself some days and go, this is my job.
Well, I do. But to be honest, whatever you do, and when you do it a lot, it becomes...
Yeah, it's work.
It becomes work.
It is work, yeah.